Right, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to another very informative session on Shiksha. And I am Bhagishri, your moderator for this session. So I would like to first unmute both our panelists for this session. So I think, yes, all right. So the topic for today's session is about IIT Jam, the admission chances after IIT Jam. So I think a lot of students do not know much about IIT Jam. A lot of them had sent us a lot of queries, like what is IIT Jam and how would that help them, right? So before we start off with the webinar and have a discussion about this exam, what is this exam all about? We have two toppers from two consecutive years who have cleared the exam, and they are here to share their experience, their knowledge, and their insights about IIT Jam. What exactly this exam is, how did they prepare themselves, how did they crack this exam to get admission into a reputed university or an institute. So a lot of things will be shared here, which will help uh, the students who will be preparing for IIT Jam 2023 understand and focus more on this. So firstly, I'd like to introduce both my panelists here today. So we have Harsh Are Jalan, who is IIT Jam 2022 topper, and we have Shubham Banik, IIT Jam 2021 topper. So firstly, welcome to our panel. Welcome to Shiksha's webinar, Shubham and Harsh. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And I'll start with Harsh. Harsh, you have been the recent topper and you've cracked the exam and got into an university. So Harsh, what is IIT Jam? We would love to know that first.
Ma'am, IIT Jam is basically joint admission test for masters, which is given by the students to seek admission in for masters course in universities like IIT, ISc, for from bachelor's. That is IIT Jam basically.
Okay. And coming to Shubham, since you were a year senior to him, what is your perception of IIT Jam?
And IIT Jam is actually an entrance test. Like, not only I think that it does not, it also allows someone to have admission in IITs as well as in we have other universities like NISER and iiser and NIT. So in all those central universities.
Right. So Shubham, I just had one query. IIT Jam is it that not popular or a lot of students, because a lot of them have this query that what exactly is IIT Jam and how can we prepare? So is it not very popular among student?
Ma'am, that actually depends first of all on the like area. Like suppose where I did my bachelor's from, that was from Jadavpur University. Their jam is very popular. Like even students from second sem and third sem they start preparing. But I have met batchmates from my year only. In their states, jam is not that much popular. Like people come to know about it in the second year and third year that there is an exam like this.
Okay, so I think this exam is, I mean, it's available in the entire country, or it's particularly any state wise?
No, ma'am, it's for the whole country.
Okay, okay. So you are saying that a lot of them do not know about this. That is why they come to know a little late and they are not able to prepare for that also. So, talking about IIT JAM. So, is it something which is replacing any other exam? Like I have given an exam for IIT or some exam for getting into IIT. I'm not able to crack it. So now I can opt for IIT JAM. Is it something like that?
Ma'am, like many of them think like that maybe someone who has not given their JEE that much well, like
Yeah, right, right.
or any other exam, for them that might be a second chance that to get into IITs, like after to pursue their masters. In that case, that can be considered as a substitute. And also, in some cases, like besides JAM, there are some exams which through which we can take admission in central universities like Delhi University, BHU. So
Okay.
it can also be considered at par with them as well.
Right. Coming to you, Harsh, you have been the recent topper. So, what was your subject? And you did top this year. So, what was your subject of this?
My subject was chemistry, ma'am.
Okay. And how did you thought of giving this exam, IIT Jam? Were there any well before preparation, or you got to know about this exam and you sat for this exam?
Ma'am, when I was in first semester, my senior told me about this exam,
Okay.
IIT Jam, to pursue masters from IIT. So
Okay.
from second semester, I started my second year. I started my full-fledged preparation for IIT Jam. Uh, from that, and I took coaching for it to
Okay.
clear the exam. So
Okay.
that was basically I did.
So Harsh, is it an undergraduate level or is it a postgraduate level thing that they can take up after IIT Jam?
Ma'am, postgraduate course we take after IIT Jam.
Okay, okay. So probably someone who has done bachelor's can sit for this exam and then take up the postgraduate level. Okay. So when we talk about IIT Jam, does it opens to engineering or it caters to science? What all it caters to?
It basically caters to science subjects, ma'am. Pure science subjects like maths is there, statistics is there, physics is there, chemistry is there, geology is there, ma'am.
Okay.
Basically caters to pure science.
Pure science, right? So coming to you, Shubham, if we talk about top ranked IITs which offer MSc courses, so which are those institutes that offers MSc courses through particularly IIT Jam exam?
Ma'am, actually, it also depends upon the subject because in case of geology, we have only five IITs, but
Okay.
other subjects they have many IITs in which they can take admission in. So, popular IITs can be considered the old IITs such as Bombay, Kharagpur, and maybe Madras. Like geology is not present in Madras. Colleges like this, universities like.
Okay, okay. So we are getting a few queries. Let's quickly take up that also. So I've got a question from a student who says, I ranked 2330 in JAM. So which NIT can I get? So Shubham, can you help him out with this?
No, ma'am, I actually don't have any idea regarding the ranking, like in IITs, in NITs, NIT.
Okay, so is there a ranking thing also in IIT JAM that you get a rank or a score after the exam? And
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
is that a criteria for getting into good IITs or institutes?
Yes, ma'am. Like most of the popular IITs, they have you have to have a ranking below. Suppose in our case, like in geology,
Mhm.
you have to have a ranking within about 15 to 20 if you want to get into Bombay, and you have to have a rank within 40 to 50 if you want to get into Kharagpur. So there are some benchmarks in
Okay.
every subject, I think, where like if someone talks to their seniors regarding that subject, they might be able to help them better. Like that you have to have a rank below this if you want to get into that particular IIT. Like it varies sometimes, but usually the average remains the same.
Right. Okay. So I think Hari Priya has a question. Is it able to are we able to apply now for the batch 2022 students? If yes, how can we? Can they apply now for batch 2022 students?
I couldn't understand the question.
Yes, sir.
Like
Okay. So
what does it
Hari,
mean?
if you are attending the session, so if you could clear up your question with more details, like what you want to apply for and for which batch are you talking? So probably we could help you out, right? Okay. So I have another question from Ashima. Which online coaching did you pursue? So Shubham, if you would like to tell them about your coaching.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I did not take any online coaching sort of like that. I have a senior from our college who used to teach and take mock tests. So I actually did my coaching for the last 6 months under him, like Shoykot Sina. His name was Shoykot Sina.
Okay. So, Harsh, coming to you, you did take coaching. So,
Yes, ma'am.
what kind of preparation does this exam require? I mean, this is something which the next year 2023 students would take help from, and when they are sitting for that exam, all these discussions, would help them. So, what kind of coaching preparation you had before sitting for the exam?
Yes, ma'am. Basically, ma'am, we have three subjects in chemistry, basically inorganic, organic, and physical. Ma'am, I used to divide both three of them in my day. I used to give 3 hours to each of them to complete the syllabus of each of them, so that it will be easy for me to sit in the exam well prepared, ma'am. Because in IIT Jam chemistry, if I'm basically talking, each subject is given equal importance. So if you leave any single part of thing, your rank can degrade. So
Okay, so what was your score or rank for this exam?
Ma'am, my score was 77.33 out of 100 and my rank was AIR 32, ma'am.
Okay, so since you had chemistry, I think, as the background,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
a student, some an aspiring student who wants to prepare from this particular subject, what
Yes, yes.
all instructions you would give to that particular student regarding chemistry preparation?
Okay. Ma'am, first I will divide this into parts, ma'am. If a student is taking coaching, if a student is taking coaching, we rely on the coaching, what coaching is teaching you. Read properly the notes, give the test series, give the questions. And secondly, if you are preparing by yourself, then there are for organic, I will recommend you one book which is Claydon. From Claydon, basically the questions which come in IIT exam are basically directly taken from the Claydon book. Okay, ma'am. And for inorganic chemistry, if you want to prepare, there are 2 to 3 books which I can recommend. You can start preparing from, that is Hui, and one is Housecraft, Catherine Housecraft, inorganic chemistry. And ma'am, for physical chemistry, we basically have numericals, ma'am. You have to prepare numericals very well because there's a section in IIT Jam which is numerical answer type question,
Okay.
which covers all basically physical part. So for physical, ma'am, I will recommend only one book, which is Puri Sharma Pathania, which will cater to your all needs.
Right. So I think all of you can make a note of these books and references or resources that Harsh has shared so that while you're preparing, you could have a note of these. Okay, Shubham, I think we got that question from Hari, and he says that how can we apply for JAM batch 2022?
In order for someone to apply for JAM 2022, I think like this was the JAM which was supposed to be for
Yes.
batch 2022. Yeah. So
So, Hari, I think probably you have to prepare for the next year, that is 2023, and you could attend the session and get all the strategies and preparation tips to prepare and sit for the next year. So, Shubham, just asking another question regarding this. Is there a restriction on the number of attempts one can have for IIT JAM? I mean, can they sit for this exam like every consecutive year and keep attempting it, or there is a limitation to it?
I think there was a limitation. I'm not actually sure about the age, but there is a limitation, I think.
So there is a maximum number of attempts that they can take and not more than that. So is there any
Mm-hmm.
age restrictions also, like minimum or
Mm,
maximum, something like that?
yes, and there is one age. I actually am not sure about the details, but I had read about this that there are some restrictions. I do not know that whether they are in this year as well, like regarding JAM 2022. But there are some actually eligible because even if there are not some restrictions in the exam, there will be some restrictions when one will take admission because there are some eligibility requirements for each IIT. So there also someone can face some problems.
Right. Since you spoke about eligibility criteria, so before sitting for this IIT JAM exam, uh, what's the eligibility criteria for this particular exam? What's the minimum thing that is required?
Most of the times the main eligibility criteria is that you have to have a basic, I think 50 to 60 percentage in your BSc marks. Then now different IITs consider different eligibility criteria. Like one IIT says that you have to have maths in your 10+2 level. Like without that you would not be able to take admission. Then some IITs say that you would have to have physics or any maths in your BSc level elective subjects. Like general elective subjects. So actually it depends. Like in the brochure it is written very well. Like JAM releases a brochure every year where each IIT and each eligibility requirement is mentioned very clearly.
Right. So, so this is a common entrance test. We can consider as a common entrance test.
Yes, and for BSc, like for bachelors of science subjects, it is a common entrance test they can consider.
Okay. And if someone who is not from BSc, who is from humanities or commerce, are they eligible to sit for this exam?
No, ma'am. I think that recently from our year 2021, economics was started, like BSc economics. That
Mhm.
was also BSc, not BA economics, I think.
Okay. So I've got another question from Kashif, and he says, my rank is 413 IIT JAM Geology. Will I get any IIT or NIT or IISER? So Shubham, if you can help him with that.
Mm, Ma'am, it actually depends whether it is unreserved or reserved seat. So I only know about the general criteria. In general, one has to have a rank within 110 to get any IIT. Like the last IIT which stops taking is IIT Bhubaneswar, and usually the ranking goes up to 103, 110. That is for general, but I am not so sure about the reserved category.
Okay, Ashima says, does the question arises from PSC level or high order level? I mean, I think she's asking about the question pattern for the exam. What kind of question pattern does this exam have, and from where do they get maximum?
I mean, geology, most of the questions come from BSc level. There are a few questions usually in the numerical section where they test your basic knowledge of 10, class 10, 11, 12, like basic chemistry problems or basic physics problems. Sometimes maybe a gravity problem using Kepler's law, basic problems like that. But not, till now, I have not seen any problem which is a very high level problem like an MSc one or more.
Okay, so coming to Harsh. So Harsh, for chemistry, what kind of question pattern is there for this exam?
Yes, ma'am. Question pattern is, ma'am, basically there are three sections. First section A is basically MCQ, section B is MSQ, and section C is NAT. And syllabus comprising is of, ma'am, whole BSc 3 years course which we do in bachelor's. The questions come from there only, ma'am.
Okay. So, while you are sitting for this exam, so how do you time manage each section so that you are able to finish it in time? So, how do you manage that? If you can help on this.
Yes, ma'am. For ma'am, if you are talking about time management, ma'am, then you have to practice it, ma'am, daily. It requires practice, ma'am. Basically, that test series we give, that test series that we give is basically we do it for our error calculation, error thing, and second is time management. That time management comes from giving the test series regularly. From there, you can actually uh, what can I say? Actually, understand where your time goes maximum in which section. From that, you can actually divide the time accordingly to each sections. So that's how I did, ma'am, during my preparations, time management.
Okay. Okay. So, Shubham, coming to you, you did answer for Kashif regarding IIT Jam Geology. So, he says that his friend's rank, this question was for his friend, whose rank is 371 in Jam Geology, and he's from OBC background. But he had PCB in 12th and chemistry and statistics in BSc. So, is there any chance of getting admission through Jam? Shubham, if you can help him on that.
Ma'am, if someone has PCB, they can, I think, but actually, there is one IIT, I'm not so sure that makes you like it is compulsory to have maths in your 10 plus 2 level. They give it in their eligibility criteria. That might pose a little bit of problem. I would advise them to just check on the brochure ones. Like there are two or three IITs like that which consider PCM or maths to be in particular.
Okay, so I could see a lot of questions coming in. So I would request all of you if you can put those questions in Q&A and not in the chat section. So I'm just moving to the next question. Almas says, if I'm not eligible for a particular IIT, will my application form be rejected? So Shubham, will that be rejected?
Yes, ma'am. I think that should be like if they have put some restrictions, they might not be able to bend on those because then it might be unfair to others as well who are applying.
Right. So, Almas, if you are watching the video, so the answer is yes, your form might get rejected if you had selected, a particular IIT in your preference order. Okay. Nikita has a question for Harsh. So, Harsh, Nikita wants to ask you for IIT Jam chemistry, where can we practice more questions? And in Puri Sharma book, there is more than sufficient material that is irrelevant for IIT Jam. So, how to sort out those things?
Yes, ma'am. That in that part, in questions part, which she is telling, in that part, my coaching helped me because my coaching gave me booklets for each chapter, which helped me preparing it well. So that might help her, and she wants some book, ma'am, for
Yeah, if you
preparing.
can suggest her about that.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for in physical, she can refer KL Kapoor as well, ma'am, for numericals if she wants. KL Kapoor is very good book for, and if in organic, I have already said, ma'am, Claydon will be enough. And if she wants more preparation, she can follow MS Sean Organic Chemistry. That is also good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And in organic, hello,
Yes, yes, please continue.
yes, ma'am. And in organic, I will say we and one book comes by ma'am due process. I'm not remembering his name now. She can refer that book as well for coordination chemistry and organometallic chemistry in organic chemistry. So
Okay,
that will be my.
so Nikita, I think you have got a lot of references from Harsh. So probably you can check on that. Okay. Okay, so I have another question coming in here from another student. Is there MSc Organic Chemistry specialization in IITs? So Harsh, would you like to take that?
Yes, ma'am. I can't answer that well, ma'am, since I've not taken admission till yet, ma'am. I'm in sixth semester BSc. I'll be taking admission, ma'am.
Okay, so Shubham, do you want to take up this question or you have any idea on this, on MSc Organic Chemistry specializations? Okay, so
No, ma'am. I
probably they cannot help you out on this. Okay, let's move to some more questions related to this. Um, if we talk about cutoffs, so Shubham, is there any cutoff also for this particular exam? If you want to get into IIT or NIT, is there any cutoff kind of thing?
Yes, ma'am. There is a cutoff like with above which you have to have marks if you want to apply for any IITs. Now, cutoff actually varies year to year. Like if the paper, suppose if the paper is very easy, then automatically the cutoff will rise. Like it will, in our case, sometimes the cutoff will reach 40, 50 or something like that. But if the paper is tough or even if it a little bit of standard is there, then the cutoff might actually fall down to about 20, 30. So it actually depends from year to year.
Right. Okay. And let's come to some other important questions like what could be, if we talk about the admission or the entire counseling process for IIT Jam. So what is the entire admission process for IIT Jam, if you could explain that?
Ma'am, once we have got the rank and the score, then the portal actually opens on a particular date, which will be mentioned in the website. Now, we would have to put our IITs in preference. Like if suppose my first preference IIT Bombay, second is IIT Kharagpur, third is like that. Now, regarding these preferences, one has to be very careful. Like they should like absolutely put the preference in such a way that they might not like regret later that if only I could have put that IIT above or that this IIT below. Because what happens is that after the first round, if you get any IIT, they take a seat booking fee, which is 10,000.
Okay.
Now, once they take that, your seat is confirmed, and even if you place for higher preferences, it would you would have to worry that maybe your seat will also go. Like it is not a bet. It is not a bet type of thing. Like one seat is confirmed, but the
Okay.
problem what happens is that suppose like my third IIT was selected. I have put it on third number, but somehow now I want the IIT which I put below. Like I had put in the fourth or fifth number, but now I cannot do that. I can only go above, but cannot go below. So one should put it like that, and after that the college will open its own portal maybe and take the other part of the admission fees. And yes, the college will specify.
Right, right. So, they also want to know for the counseling process, especially what all documents are required and how important are those documents for these process?
The main documents which are required are like class 10 mark sheet, class 12 mark sheet. Along with this, you need to have the mark sheets of your BSc. Now, usually what happens is that the time at which JAM takes, the sixth semester is still left. Like Harsh said that his sixth semester is still left. In that case,
Right.
what they do is that they take an undertaking. They give a form in which we have to sign. It is written that my sixth semester has not been done. I will submit it when my results are out. So
Okay.
these are the main documents which are required.
Right. Okay. So, coming to you, Harsh, what kind of future or scope do you see, after sitting for this exam, you scored well. So, what all future do you see? What are your future plans that you must have, prepared for yourself?
My future plan is basically to do my MSc from my desired IT, which I get, and after that, I want to pursue my PhD from foreign countries. Uh, so in that, IITs may help me in uh, uh, in accommodation of like instrumentation and that a higher thing which will be required for me to pursue PhD in foreign countries. That will IITs will strengthen my base for that.
Right. So do you think the scope for this particular thing that you want to take up as a PhD, the scope in foreign countries are better than India, or India also has equal number of good opportunities?
India has also better opportunities, ma'am. But in India, basically, people after MSc basically apply for ONGC through GATE, and
Okay.
basically that route they mostly prefer in India. And
Okay.
who mostly want to do PhD, they move outside India only. Basically, that they
So
prefer.
probably it will open up a lot of research scholar profile, after taking up this, right? Okay. So Shubham, coming to you, what's your future plan connected with this? Since you're already pursuing, so what's your future plan for this?
Ma'am, currently I've thought that I would like to go in research line, like I want to do PhD. Now, whether it is in like outside or like in India, I'm not so sure. That will actually depend. Like I thought that I will take this summer vacation to talk with my seniors and teachers, because regarding PhD, they say that the guide is very important. Like for a PhD guide, and even the subject in which I'm taking. Like maybe some subjects outside are better. Some subjects in India are much more better than outside countries. So I've not yet decided, but I will go in research.
Right. Okay, so I have another question for you, Shubham. This is from Almas. He says, is IISER Pune better than IIT Kharagpur for MSc Geology?
Ma'am, I actually don't have that much idea how the geology department is in iiser Pune. Regarding this, like if I would like to advise anyone who wants to compare between two IITs, that to first of all make sure that in which direction they want to go, whether they want to go for job or whether they want to go for research. After that, I would like to advise them that to contact the seniors of that college. Like if someone is much more interested in research, I would advise them to go to IIT Kharagpur. Like because here the department is very good for research, like so that is one thing, but I'm not so sure how the geology department is in iiser Pune. They might contact the seniors of that university, they will be able to tell better.
So how's your overall experience at your university? How's the entire subject being trained there?
Ma'am, there are like in Kharagpur, the syllabus is actually vast. Like each subject is taught with extensive detail. So that is why I said that if someone has a mentality of research, they will like it. But if someone suppose wants to be more job oriented, for them giving competitive exams is much more important. For that they might need more time. And this is the problem that they might face in Kharagpur, is that the time is very less for someone to prepare externally for other exams. Like we can take out time, but it becomes a little bit of hectic unless you like the subject. And even if you like, it's not like there are a lot of things taught like there so much that someone is getting confused and everything. It's just that the syllabus is huge and the pressure is actually a little bit more. So this I would like to tell, that if someone has research orient like mentality, they can come to Kharagpur, they would like it here.
Right. Okay. I'll like to take a few questions that I have received during the registration process of the webinar. So a student wants to know that his concept is clear for exam, but he lacks confidence, and because of that, he is not able to concentrate and sit for the attempts. So Shubham, if we talk about this similar problem, I think which a lot of students do face. So how do you advise them to cope up with this?
Ma'am, the only way is that constant revision and mock test, because once someone starts giving mock test, and if they see that their marks are getting higher, the confidence automatically comes in. Because even I remember, like when I started doing my preparation, I used to see the question papers and see that about 90% questions I could not do. Like I, even if they were easy, I did silly mistakes, and that will happen with everyone. The only solution is to keep revising and keep giving mock tests. The confidence will automatically come in.
Right, right. I do agree to this. And Antama wants to know how to start that preparation. And which is the best subject of scoring high in IIT Jam? So Shubham, what would you like to advise?
Ma'am, anyone should start the preparation first by seeing the last 10 years question papers, I think, because the syllabus of any BSc subject is actually huge. But what happens is that in IIT Jam, in geology specifically, I can say is that there are in one subject there are suppose 10 topics in which most of the questions usually come. So in that case, if someone starts seeing from the question papers and seeing that okay, from this subject this many questions are asked, they can get a like beginning point rather than starting reading a whole book. In that case they might feel demotivated. And regarding the second part of that question, that in which has the maximum marks, in our case geology used to be the subject in which maximum marks used to come, like, but I'm not so sure about 2022 because 2022 paper was very tough in geology. The marks actually reduced a lot.
Right. Okay. So I'll come to Harsh for this very particular question. Harsh, I just would like to extend the same question to you. Firstly, how do you prepare, like, for particularly your subject, and which is the best scoring subject? That what would you recommend?
Yes, ma'am. Basically, ma'am, I started preparation first seeing the syllabus. I started the preparation by seeing the syllabus and the what coaching taught me. I did that basically for my preparation. And the score, ma'am, for the which subject, ma'am, that the subject basically as a student is specializing in BSc that he will prefer, ma'am. But I can't tell, ma'am, which subject has the most score in IIT Jam. That I don't know.
So, is it okay? I'll take another question from Siddharth, and he wants to know: is IIT Jam hard for BSc program students? Harsh, what would you say?
It is actually for BSc program student, ma'am, only. IT Jam is not hard, ma'am. Basically, if you have prepared well enough, it will not be that hard enough, ma'am. The level is not that hard.
Okay, so I think Siddharth, it is not that hard. That is what Harsh has already mentioned here, that you really need to understand that what exactly goes for you. Okay, so Siddharth, sorry, Harsh, I just want to know, while you were preparing and preparing a whole study plan for sitting for this exam. So, what kind of study plan you had prepared, particularly for yourself? That okay, this particular time I'm going to dedicate to this particular I'm going to dedicate to this. And how was your social life affected? Was it too much affected by by the preparation, or was it okay to balance both?
It was okay, ma'am. Basically, what I did, ma'am, uh, I used to divide my whole day, ma'am, beforehand only, before night only. What I used to do, ma'am, is that before night, since suppose, ma'am, I wake up at 8, and from 9 to 10, I used to do physical numericals. The numericals which I used to do from 9 to 10, that portion I revise before night only. Okay, ma'am. That I used to do. After the numerical portion is completed, then I move with organic chemistry questions,
Okay.
which is given by my coaching. And after which I have done it, I used to go to play at evening with my friends. So my social life was not that affected. And after that, the most typical part of the chemistry was inorganic chemistry because we have to memorize a lot in that thing. So I used to devote more time in that because at least I have to revise it 2 to 3 times that single day only so that I can retain it more well. So, ma'am, that was my basically study uh, timetable which I used to follow during my 2 years preparation, ma'am.
Comparing to the other, preparation, how was your paper for this? Was that tough? Was it easy? Or was it okay for you?
Ma'am, the paper was easy compared to 2021. The paper was
Okay.
easy.
And if we talk about mock test, as Shubham has also mentioned about the importance of mock test and previous
Yes.
year's question papers. So how important are these, and from where can the students get into, more of mock papers and PYQs for, all those subjects? So from where can they get into that?
Uh, for mock test papers, ma'am, you can basically buy the test series of reputed institutes, ma'am. Like
Okay.
there are a few institutes from like Chem Academy is there, Career Endeavor is there. Ma'am, you can buy the test series for that, and you can prepare the mock for them. And we are talking about PYQs, ma'am, that you will easily get in the internet, and even on the JAM website, they give the PYQs of each particular subject. So,
Okay. Okay. So Shubham, coming to you, how was your study plan and what was your subject? I mean, you were taking up geology. So was that your subject in undergraduate also?
Yes, ma'am. My BSc in
Yes.
geology.
So how did you have your study plan and how all you got into mock test and PYQs? How much time did you dedicate to all of these?
Ma'am, for the first 3 4 months, I actually like cleared my backlog of the previous things, because I had many subjects and I had to go through each of them once more as a revision.
Okay.
So in that mock test actually came a lot later for the last 5 6 months, as well as the previous years. And regarding my routine, I actually divided my day in three halves, like the morning and the afternoon and the night one. And I actually at the previous day I made a list that of the things I would like to read the next day, and I did like that.
So you had a kind of mind set up along with your study plan that you need to divide your time and give time to each subject so that
Hmm.
nothing is left out or so was all like Harsh has said that he was quite fine with his social life and preparing for his exam. So were you into this kind of situation that you were stressed out or were you were chilled out during your preparation and you had enough social life?
No, actually, the time that I did give gem was the time of lockdown, so there
Okay.
was no social life actually. Because I used to stay at my home. Regarding that, I would say, yeah, it affected a little bit, because like suddenly there was a change of mindset, as we all know,
Right.
and I was a little bit of stressed out, especially in the last few months, but that became okay over time.
So you did feel that there was something that if this lockdown kind of thing really affected, and that could really, I mean, it gave you more time with your books.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, I'll take another question from Kushi, and she is preparing for IT Jam 2023. So she wants to know how can I prepare well for the next year exam and what all things should I keep in mind. So Shubham, I'll start with you.
Ma'am, as I said, that someone, like, first of all, they should look at the previous 10 10 15 years, and they can also keep the syllabus beside them and make a short list of the topics, like in which, like, someone has to start. Then they can divide it into two parts, like the strength and the weakness topics,
Mhm.
and then first start doing the weakness ones. Usually what happens is that, although like, we might think that the strength ones I can make them more stronger, but the problem which happens is that by chance, if those topics do not come in the exam, in that case our like rank, even suppose an easy question comes from the part which I do not know that much, then my marks easily gets lost there. So I can say that they should start from there, and for the first 4 5 months they should like consult books and make short notes, or maybe mark them, so that what happens is that in the last 3 4 months, it should not be that they have to read a whole book to understand one topic. Like, it should be that they should read concise notes, or just short anything written notes, and maybe some underlined things, so that it will help them in quick revision. They can start preparing like that, and not leave any topic behind, as I said.
Right. So I think Kushi, you have enough notes for how to prepare for the next year, and you have enough time also. So you can start away, with the preparation right now and have the entire 365 days dedicated to your preparation. Okay, Harsh, for chemistry and for BSc, for your subject, what would you recommend for 2023 students?
First of all, ma'am, they should download the syllabus, ma'am, which is provided in JAM website. From the syllabus, after that they should syllabus is given topic wise. So
Mhm.
they should start preparing the subject by topic wise, and from topic the subtopics which have previously asked in the JAM PYQ, like Maria has said. So from that they should get an idea of which subtopics are asked in the jam most, from which they can get idea and can prepare them well enough. And after, ma'am, strength and weak topics, I will say, ma'am, they will get accustomed to it by giving the mock series if they have started giving it. From there, they can identify what is their strength points and what is their weak points. So after identifying the weak points, ma'am, they can work on them so that they can at least make that weak point well enough so that they can score well for the exam.
Right. Okay. Another common question that I see is, since both of you had different subjects, So for different subjects, do you have different set of question papers for IIT Jam, or there's a common question paper which comes for anybody? You know, like for 2022, it will be same question paper for all of them, be it from any stream. Is it something like that? So Harsh, what is it?
No, ma'am. It is different for chemistry, it is different for physics, it is different for math. It is
Okay, so
different, ma'am.
okay, so you it will be different for those subjects. It will not be the same one that they'll be expecting, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. And if we talk about another very common question comes is which is better, a private university or a government university? So which is better of the two? What do you feel?
And government, I feel, ma'am, because we are giving the exam to get admitted to admitted to reputed universities of India. Basically.
So Shubham, what's your take on this? Private or the government, which is better if they get an option?
Same, ma'am. Government, I think, is much more better than private.
And why? Why do you feel that?
Ma'am, actually, I'm not so sure about that because we usually have this idea. But I can say from my point of view that I have seen that suppose in Jadavpur University or in Presidency College, Ashutosh College, what I hear from my batchmates as well as the thing which I've experienced, like we have some great teachers here, like yeah,
Okay.
not only in my stream, in physics, maths. So I can say that I think that government university should be given preference over private ones.
Okay, so we have this debate almost one with the government one going ahead. Okay, I'll quickly take one last question. Another question coming from student. How to prepare physics subject in IIT Jam in starting 2023? How do you prepare physics? So who would like to take this, Shubham or Harsh, for physics?
I can't tell for physics, ma'am, because I don't have that background.
Okay, so you did not have physics, right?
No, ma'am. Just
Okay, and
chemistry,
Shubham, you
geology.
have any idea or you would like to advise them anything?
Ma'am, the thing which I said that previous years going through the syllabus and like going through books, making notes and giving mock tests at the end, strengthening the weak points. Yes, that is I
So
think common for.
I think this is common for any subject if they're taking up and preparing, be it
Mhm.
chemistry, be it physics, or be it maths or any other subject. I think this common preparation thing goes for all of them, right? So they need to have that preparation thing in their mind. Okay, before we move towards the end of the session, I want to get a feedback from all of you who are here with us, who have been attending this session. I think you could see a feedback poll on your screens. So students, please fill up this feedback poll because we would love to know your feedback during this entire course of the webinar. How recommended was this video for you, and what all information that the two panelists has shared has helped you and will help you in moving ahead and preparing for your next year's exam and getting a whole idea of IIT Jam, because I was sure I could see a lot of them did not have an idea about IIT Jam. But I think the way both of them have explained detail wise for each of their subjects, how well they prepared, their study plan, and everything, I think that really helped to understand. And I think a lot of you will get a clear idea that what exactly IIT Jam is, what all subjects it cater, who all can sit for this, and how you mentally prepare yourself, what could be your study plan. So I think all of you will be sitting for 2023. This entire video will be of great help. So you will get a lot of fair and practical information, right, for this entire thing. So please do fill up this form, as this will help us to understand your feedback and gain more knowledge and how do you feel about the entire session. And I think we can um, definitely plan more such webinars and have more such content and more information, and get hold with more such toppers who have excelled well, and who are doing fair enough. And I'm really happy to share this information with all of you, right? So just give me a moment and we will quickly move to the concluding part of this session, right? So I think, Shubham, I think the session was quite good. I mean, a lot of them had got a lot of information. I gained a lot of information from the two of you. And I think they have got a fair idea about what exactly IIT Jam is and how does it cater. So what's your take for this entire session?
Ma'am, I think that as I said that it is not considered only in geology. Like they can take these few tips and use them in every subject. I would like to advise everyone to not to take any pressure. Like as also Harsh also mentioned that even the jam is not that much tough. Like
Yeah.
it only requires much more practice and revision. So if they keep
Right.
on going it, I am sure that during the exam day, automatically everything will come back to your mind and they can easily crack it.
So Shubham, you feel that this exam has that kind of mental pressure on students who will be appearing? I mean, do they feel that kind of mental pressure compared to JEE or any other exam like this?
Ma'am, JEE actually I would say that not that much pressure I guess in JEE like because JAM does not give that much pressure usually because like in my case even if I did not crack JAM always had that safety net that I can do my masters in Jadavpur University. But
Okay.
for students suppose who do not have masters in the same college, for them that might create a lot of mental pressure because they would have to again fight for a master's seat.
Okay, so they, I think this webinar will help them to, have that kind of mental peace and understand that, okay, this is not that difficult. You do not need to have that kind of pressure. And on this very, okay, I've got one last question. I'll take up this question from Aarti. And she says that since it's related to geology, Shubham, you can actually help her out with this. I am Aarti and I want to become a marine geologist. So she wants to know if you can share a bit detail about the exam in college and preparing exam syllabus for particularly this marine geologist. So Shubham, if you have anything to share with this.
Ma'am, mainly actually, or how can I say, JAM is only for geology. After geology, now in case of marine geology, if they have interest, they can go to Bhubaneswar Meki because Bhubaneswar has both a geology department as well as an atmospheric and I think an oceanography department as well. And the PhD they can pursue in like I have one senior who is pursuing it in National Institute of Oceanography, I think.
Okay.
So for them, that option can be open. Like there is no specific thing for marine geology except except Bhubaneswar.
Right. And with that, we'll wrap up this session. And I think it was a great informative session. So before we wrap up, Shubham, one last piece of advice to all the students.
Do not take any tension. Like this exam is not that much tough, and to always keep other substitutes as well. Like even if you do not get jam, there are many central universities and many even state universities which are very good. If I consider like Delhi University, then BHU, then if in our state like West Bengal, you can say Presidency and like Jadavpur University. So always keep your options open. Like IIT is not the end. Like it is just a beginning for every one of us. And yeah, they can do very well.
Right. Thank you for that piece of advice and a valuable information. And Harsh, quickly coming to you, one last piece of advice to all the aspiring students for 2023.
One last wish, ma'am. It will be prepare well and don't take pressure at all. You have multiple option aside from IT Jam also, like Bhaiya said, DU you have, BH you have, CUSET you have. So there are a lot of options. IIT is not the end for you. So if you get the IT, that is the golden option. You can't. Uh, so prepare well and do exam well for your exam.
Absolutely. I totally agree to all the things that they have mentioned. But if some of your queries remain unanswered, I have shared a link. You can always come up to this link, and we have experts, panelists who are there to help you and guide you. So if you have any queries regarding the exam pattern or anything, you can always come up on shiksha.com and have your questions put up here. And we'll try and get all your answers. So thank you so much both of you for joining us on this interesting session. I hope this was equally interesting to all the students who were here with us for this webinar. And we look forward to more such webinars in coming time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak here.
Thank you, ma'am.